We've got you here tonight because training camp is 25 days away. We've got the top 5 questions in your opinion now entering training camp. Here are your top 5. We're going to go through these and we could go on and on, but let's roll through these. Let's start with the leadership structure you think is number 1 on this list.
Right, no general manager after the firing of Brian Gaine. And what they have left, Bill O'Brien, primary football voice, but you have Chris Olsen in the realm of the contracts. That's his expertise. And then you've got some younger guys that not a lot of people know about, named Matt Bezergian, James Lipford. They'll do a lot of the scouting and be a resource for Bill O'Brien and Chris Olsen, and of course Jamie Roots. All of them report directly to Cal McNair. It's a little different not having a general manager.
Seems very odd.
It's a little bizarre, but can you do business this way? Yes, you can. And if you look at other organizations, not everybody has that traditional GM. The Texans certainly don't right now.
And beyond the front office leadership, what do you think about kind of the leadership structure within the coaches and players of this team?
Right, I think they've got enough veterans at this point when you think about DeAndre Hopkins, J.J. Watt, Deshaun Watson, and some really a young offensive line where you've got a few established vets like Zach Fulton, at least that have been around, Nick Martin. I think that they've got a good locker room chemistry. What needs to come together is all these new players that you've got in the secondary and some really young offensive linemen that they drafted, and they've got to learn how to fit into the fabric of the locker room really quickly.
The health of key players, that I think we can all agree is going to be huge.
Right, after last season with what they went through with Will Fuller and Kiki Kuti, Fuller tears his ACL. It's touch and go whether he'll be ready for the first game. And Kiki Kuti, I know he had a good spring and he thinks he's got his hamstring problem solved. Let's see how he does during the grind of training camp and during real games if that crops up again, because if it does, then they're without one of the most talented slot receivers in the game. And
J.D. Clowney. Are we going to see this guy at all during training camp, or is he not until first week of the regular season?
No, he will not be there.
When the paychecks start, he's going to be there. Yeah.
When $900,000 game checks start, Randy, that's when I'm going to see Jadeveon Clowney, and he will gladly cash those checks. But until then, no, he is not required to be there. He's an unsigned franchise player, and I do not predict a contract extension this year, if ever, unless things change. At this point, especially with no GM, I think it's going to be status quo for Jadeveon Clowney, which is this one-year rental situation.
All right. We're 25 days out from training camp. Good stuff as always. Aaron Wilson for the Chronicle.
Thanks,
good
guys.
to see you. Thanks for coming in. Talking football. Always good talking Texan football.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks, man.